Hello fellow cinephiles, Film Guru here. Today I'm reviewing I Think We're Alone Now. This was directed by Reed Maroney and stars Peter Dinklage and Elle Fanning. Story looks at Dell, played by Peter Dinklage. He's alone in the world. After the human race is wiped out, he lives in his small, empty town, content in his solitude and his utopia he's methodically created for himself. Until he's discovered by Grace, played by Elle Fanning, an interloper whose history and motives are obscure. Worse yet, she wants to stay. This was a really interesting film. This drew me in so much. Not a lot happens to begin with. Really elevates this from other post-apocalyptic world is the caliber of acting of these two leads. Peter Dinklage to me is one of the greatest actors of all time. He's in my top 10 list of best actors. I've always enjoyed his performances. I think he's brilliant. I'm so happy he's able to get a lead character like this, and what a performance he gives. Most people obviously know him from Game of Thrones and playing a big giant ultimately in Marvel Infinity War film. But I've been a big fan of his ever since Station Agent, one of the early films he did, and I love all of his performances along the way, such as Death at a Funeral, I Love You Too, an Australian film that he appears in. And here he's absolutely brilliant. He shines, he shows how great of an actor he truly is, and he's able to provide such a great performance and a character you can connect with and are drawn to. He's as Dell, he's very an isolated character. You know, he lives in his own world and he's happy with that. He's accepted the circumstances he finds himself in. He even creates a routine where he goes around house to house and buries the bodies and ultimately looks for batteries and a variety of other things and takes photos from the properties. And this is his way of making sense of the world. This gives him purpose and gives him a reason to continue on living, I guess, and being the person he is. And he really is fantastic in this film. And Elle Fanning's brilliant as well. She's another actress I've loved for a really long time. I think all her performances are very realistic and believable. And it's good in recent years she started to play really complicated and sort of darker characters, and I really love that, and I'm a big fan of hers, and I think she's brilliant in this film as well. She plays a great sort of naive teenager who's sort of on the run in a way. You don't quite know who she is or really where she's from or what she's part of. You do find out through the film, and she conveys this so well and such a great performance. And the chemistry between Peter Dinklage and Elle Fanning is brilliant, and they work off each other really well, and there's a bond created with the characters there, even though they are both reluctant to become friends in this particular world that they live in and inhabit. This film wasn't quite what I expected. It sort of has a few twists and turns, and the characters aren't quite what they seem. And the scenarios they find themselves isn't quite what they seem as well. It's a very simple film. It's captivating from the beginning. Just watching Dell go around doing what he's doing, you know, going house to house, burying the bodies, and his whole ritual in what he does. He lives at the sort of library, which is really interesting thing. He collects books. He's trying to create normalcy for himself, even though he finds himself the only one left in the town. Everyone's dead from a mysterious reason. No one really knows, and we're never really explained, or we never really find out what actually happened in the town. But that sort of adds to the mystery. And so we're there with him from the beginning, and we see his day-to-day routine. And then when Grace appears, it sort of throws him out a little bit. He's not expecting anyone else to be alive. He's surprised that she's there. And he sort of just wants her to go because he's so stuck in his own little world and he enjoys the world he's created for himself. Grace throws a spanner in the works. He doesn't know how to act or how to feel or what to do. And I kind of like that about his character. He's a character who's obviously been alone for a while. We don't know how much time has passed in the film since everyone's been wiped out. So it sort of shows that he's been doing this for quite some time by the feel and the look of everything. He likes to clean the houses too. There's a whole ritual to what he does and why he does what he does. And the Grace character is sort of someone who's very talkative and outgoing and wants to ask a lot of questions, and this frustrates him. But she's not quite what she seems either. There's a bit of a backstory you don't know about her that you find out throughout the film. I'm not going to give anything away here. I'm not doing any spoilers. It sort of has that post-apocalyptic world, sort of dark and dingy. It's sort of a bit harrowing at times, and it's sort of a bleak world. And Grace coming into it ultimately adds a bit of sunshine to it. it helps Del evolve a little bit and grow and get used to people again and being around him. And the choices the character makes are quite interesting, and it takes the story in different directions you don't expect, and that's what I really loved. I felt it was really refreshing and interesting. It was well done, it was well acted, it was well written, and I just thought it was an interesting and well-made film, and I thoroughly enjoyed it and got a lot out of it, and would love to see many more films made like this. Final verdict. Look, if you like something that's a bit different, if you like post-apocalyptic world films, or if you're a fan of Peter Dinklage or Elle Fanning, you'll really enjoy this. It's ultimately for people who like something different and unique, and this is definitely what this film is. And like I said, what elevates this is the performances alone, but also the unique storytelling ability that Reed Maroney has, and the film he's crafted and created. I'm going to give I Think We're Alone Now 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it, I had a good experience with it, and I can't really flaw it in any way. I just thought it was so well done and interesting, and I thoroughly enjoyed my viewing experience with this, and I really hope that Peter Dinklage gets more roles like this, because he's a brilliant actor and he deserves much more lead roles than he gets, because he is just so fantastic and to a variety of things, from drama to comedy. He's just really talented, and I'm happy to see him in a film like this. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit subscribe down the bottom. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.